Good morning, everybody. It's Sunday. Don't normally come live on a Sunday, but I thought, what the heck? I told you yesterday that we'd get together and make some encouragement cards today because let's face it, we all need some encouragement right now. So I'm just logging into my tablet here and let me pull myself up here. Morning, Lori. Hi, Tia. Okay, so today's live is going to be a little different. We're going to make a couple cards and then I'm going to show you guys how I organize some of my stuff so I know what I have and what I don't have when catalogs come out and whatnot. So if you're interested in that, you can stay around after we make the cards. Hi, Ree. Okay, so I'm just going to sit down, pull myself up, which means I'm not going to be able to see who's popping up for a minute until I get it popped up on my tablet. So, oopsies. Let's get this squared away here. I'm getting a lot better at getting quicker at setting this stuff up, but you know, still. Okay, let's share this to Stampin' with Teresa. Share the page. Stampin' with Teresa. And publish. Okay. And okay, turn volume down. Okay, I've got comments. Yay. Okay, so Tia made a special request that I make something using the Power of Hope stamp set. So let's make a little something lovely with that. I'm doing another day of using kind of limited supplies. So everyone, use what you have on hand to make these types of cards, okay? I'm doing something that's like a layout really, and just, whatever you've got on hand, it will be really super easy for you to make some cards. And of course, I've got my Starbucks with me because that's necessary. Hi, Kirsten. Welcome. So today, we're going to make two cards. One card using the Power of Hope stamp set, and then the second card we're going to be using Positive Thoughts. And I was inspired by two things today. One, this card I found on Instagram, LA Stamper. I don't see her actual name on it. But anyway, LA Stamper came up with this really cute card that I was totally going to case with that berry stamp. But I'm going to kind of do a take on this using the Power of Hope set. And we're going to also use the Garden Lane Designer Series paper that's in the current catalog. I wanted to go with kind of green, serene, kind of like, let's pick out the beauty of nature, since nature itself is not being very beautiful right now with the virus situation. But you know what? We're going to make the best of it today, and we're going to encourage and support each other and send some cards. So, again, using supplies you have, I just went with the green with that because that's kind of what I was feeling. So I'm using soft seafoam as the card base. I went ahead and already ran the this through the stone 3D embossing folder. This is an optional step, you guys. This card will look just as beautiful with no layer and just up against flat on this this card base. So you can keep it really simple and use what you have. We're also going to use today for both cards soft seafoam ink and mossy meadow. So I'm just doing a light and a dark. So, and then I just grabbed this ribbon that's from it's the 3/8 in linen from the Magnolia Lane Suite ribbon set. I'm just using this. This is a totally optional supply. I just wanted to add a little something, but again, use what you've got on hand. All right, we're gonna do some glue, and let's open up these stamp pads. What's everyone doing today? How are you spending your Sunday? A lot of people are watching church on TV these days. It's kind of strange that church, when we need it the most, it's actually unavailable. It's very, very bizarre to me this whole time. Okay, so what I'm gonna do here is this is actually gonna layer to the left of this, just like that, okay? So this beautiful designer series paper. If you want to conserve your designer series paper, you could totally cut that in half, but I find that I do better with lining up if I put it right on there. That's just me though. There are people out there who are much better at lining things up than I am. So I'm going to take the soft seafoam. I'm going to take this structure. I don't know what these are called. Does anyone know what these are called? These little Japanese pagoda kind of thingies. It's like a arbor of some sort. And then I'm going to take the sentiment that says, hope is the power that makes all things possible. And I think we've all got the hope that this virus dies and goes away sooner than later. So I'm just, because it's so dark, it shows up really well against that soft seafoam. I don't even have to stamp the soft seafoam off. Okay, and then I wanted to decorate the inside of the card. I'm going to use that beautiful bonsai tree or cherry blossom tree, whatever. It's an abstract tree. I don't know what it is, but we'll take it. And then I'm going to also decorate the envelope. And for the envelope, I wanted to do this arbor structure. And it's a little crooked, but that's okay. And let's just get this little tree right in front of it. Isn't that pretty? So someone knows they're getting something very special when you send it out. Real quick, I'm gonna grab my trusty little baby wipe. I'm going to donate the rest of my baby wipes to my cousin. She had a baby, and she's in need, I'm sure, of those things. So I'm gonna get back to my chamois, give her my baby wipes. But for now, I'll just use the one that's open. I'm not gonna give her the one that's halfway open. Speaking of which, if anyone has any masks and whatnot on hand, I found a stash that my dad had left at my house. For some reason, you know, he's something of a prepper. That's just kind of a nice way of putting it. And I got wind that he left some boxes of masks at my house. So, sorry, I dropped something, hang on. So I donated those to our hospital today because they're in desperate need. And one of my employees, his wife, is a frontliner at the hospital that is being converted completely to COVID-19 patients. So I'm like, get these to her and get them a little bit of safety. It's crazy stuff. Do you guys know anyone who works in the medical field right now and is being tasked with this? Those are probably somebody you might want to put on your list of people to send an encouragement card to. That's really scary stuff. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to glue this stone embossed piece just right to the card. I haven't seen any comments. Anyone there? You guys just hanging out? Can you see me okay in your frame? I want to make sure I'm in frame. I feel like I might be a little low on mine, but I feel like my tablet doesn't show me the true picture. Okay, and then we're just gonna glue this right to here. Just line that up. I wasn't gonna go into the office today, but I am gonna go in a little bit later. I did not go yesterday, so I feel good about that, staying home. Really needed the day off. It's a lot. So I'm just going to cut a small piece of this. And I'm just going to tie a knot. And just like they did with the red knot, I'm going to use this linen knot. And I'm just going to use regular old Scotch tape to glue it to the back. You could use glue dots or anything you want, but I'm just going to go with the old tried and true Scotch. I'm going to try to bend that down so that folds down nicely. Okay. Oopsies. I will say one benefit of this virus is the staying home with the family and thinking of things to do with the family that kind of we should be doing anyway, and we're not. So I feel like we've become, you know, a little bit closer, bonding a little bit more, talking to my parents almost every day. And my friends. And we never have time to talk to each other on the phone and stuff. So it's been nice. And I kind of have a little bit of a rule of no COVID talk, you know, keeping things positive. We can allow ourselves a little bit of grumble time, but then we just have to talk about other things. And that's been kind of fun too, to think of positive things to talk about. Keep our heads in a good place. That's one thing I've noticed, a lot of depressed people, which is not, I mean, it's depressing, so yeah, I get it. But as card makers, we can help bring a smile to people's faces and remind them that they're loved and that someone's thinking of them. What do you guys think? Is it pretty close? I think it's pretty darn close. I really like how that turned out. And then with the inside, just this pretty little tree. It's very serene, very hopeful. And the best part is that this would be wonderful for a man or a woman. This is a very gender neutral card. A couple weeks ago, I made a card, or probably more like a couple months ago now. I made a card using this set. I did a fun fold. And I paper pieced the geisha with the Parisian floral paper that we've got. And this said, "Today is a day for new beginnings." And then it opened up like that. So this is just another idea of a way to use the stamp set. How many of you have the set? As far as I know, it's still available. I haven't checked the inventory list in a long time, but it's free with a $100 purchase with Stampin' Up. I may have one more that I'm going to do a giveaway with coming up. Let me see if I do. I can't remember. Sorry, I moved some stuff so it's not as close to see. But anyway, so now I've got 2 lovely cards to send to somebody who needs encouragement, and I will be doing that. I sent out a bunch of cards yesterday to people, so you guys who watched and shared last week's Facebook Live got the card that I made. So I made all those yesterday and mailed them out. If you watched yesterday's and shared yesterday's Facebook Live, the prizes are for next week this Positive Thoughts stamp set and a Wink of Stella. And so 2 prizes. One is the Wink of Stella, one is the Positive Thoughts. But so I'm going to make a card using the Positive Thoughts stamp set right now. And we're using all the same colors and inks and paper. So we're not using the Designer Series paper for this one. So what we're going to do is use that soft seafoam for a base once more. And I'm not seeing comments at all. Oh, there we go. Oh, hi, Kathy. Hi, Tia. Hi, Kathy. Okay, so I see everybody on here now. For some reason, my comments weren't showing up, but I got them back. Okay, so let's go ahead and let's just stamp the inside in the envelope real quick. So the inside, I'm using this Burn. We're using the Positive Thoughts stamp set. So again, you can watch the replay too. And if you share the replay, just type in share so I know that you shared it. And I will put you in the drawing for that stamp set for next week. Or the Wink of Stella. There we go. This is what we're going to put on the inside. real quick, let's stamp this. I'm just using the soft seafoam ink again. Let me move this over here. I need better leverage. These blocks are hard for me, these large ones. And I'm just going to stamp this. I'll show you the card that I was inspired by. And I'm not re-inking, I'm just doing second and third. And the soft seafoam is so light, so there's no way you're going to see that on the camera, but trust me that it's there. It's very faint in the second and third generation. It just gives just kind of a shadow, a whisper of color. Real quick, I'm going to stamp the envelope. And I'm going to stamp it in Mossy Meadow. No, I'm going to stamp it in this first. And then I'll do Mossy Meadow. I wanted the Mossy Meadow to be dark. I'm just going to stamp this off. I don't feel the need to clean the soft seafoam off of that before I put it in the Mossy Meadow. Now, if you're doing it the other way around, you don't want to contaminate your other ink pad, so make sure to clean it. So we'll give our envelope this really pretty fern look. Isn't that pretty, you guys? So beautiful. I love this stamp set. This is one of the ones that they came out with a coordinating product release that I'm not sure I would have given it a second glance until they came out with that, and it's actually one of my favorites now. Hi, Dawn. How are you? Okay. Yeah, these cards that we're making today are really simple. I did that on purpose. I want them to be easily mass-produced and something that you can do with stamp sets you've already got on hand, and also, you know, so you don't have to go out and buy a ton of supplies to do this. Okay, and then we're going to take this. It's just kind of a use what you've got, because as much as I'd love you to come out and spend money and buy stuff at my store, I'm not sure that that's the best thing that we should be doing right now, you know. But that being said, if you do have the resources and you want to, I am offering free shipping until the end of COVID, or as long as I can afford to do that. So basically that's just, you know, I'll forego pretty much most of my commission depending on what you order, and give it back to you so you can have some stuff to make some cards for encouragement for people. I think it's really important that we do what we can to keep people knowing they're loved and going. Okay, so here's what we're going to do. We're going to glue this to the inside of the card. I'm a terrible salesman, I know. But I'd rather keep Stampin' Up! Going strong and forgo anything that I have. So if you guys need some staples and stuff, that's a great place to get it. You know, but at the same time, we also have so many unemployed in our midst right now, and the state of the world is unknown. But you know what? Come the end of this bad boy, we're going to be moving and shaking like no other again, and we can go crazy with buying all the new fun fancy things at that time. Okay, so just glued that down. So simple. Oh, you guys, I forgot to show you my inspiration for this card. This one is from Julie D'Amato, who's the Paper Pixie. This woman is a genius, by the way, with 3D projects. But I really love the simplicity of this card, so totally stole her idea, and that's what we're doing. Just, you know, with different colors, and I'm not using any embellishments, but we're using the ribbon instead of the twine that she's got. Tia, God is in control. It's absolutely true. Absolutely true. Because I know we're not. Okay, I'm going to make a bow because I love bows. Not very good at tying them. So if you want a chance to win this stamp set, watch the replay of my live yesterday. That's my normal weekly live. This is just a special live just for some fun crafty time. It's not very fun, I guess. We're kind of a little bit somber today. But if you share the replay, you'll be entered in the drawing. So go ahead and do that. And that's, by the way, open to demonstrators. So open to everyone. if you don't have the Positive Thoughts stamp set and want it, that's a great way to get it for free. Okay. I wish I was a better bow tire. There's videos on YouTube, but for some reason my fingers just won't do it the way I want them to. Okay, I'm gonna use dimensionals on this. And we're just gonna plop this right on the card. Kathy, you have a hard time with bows too. I don't know. I can't tell if it's just my impatience or my arthritis or what. Just fat fingered. I don't know. Some people are so good at it. And they have techniques that they swear by. All right, you guys, what do you think? It's so simple and so lovely. And again, you know what? Don't include a bow. If you want to send this to a man or want to save on postage, this will bulk up your postage. So you'll need to either use a extra ounce stamp, or sometimes I'm just so lazy I slap on 2 stamps because again, I'm lazy. Anyway, so this is that one, and then there's the one that I made ahead of time to make sure it would turn out well. I love how they both turned out. So really simple. Here's a card that I made using the stamp set a few weeks ago. And I directly cased Norel Farugia, who's a Stampin' Up! Artisan stamper. And oh, she does stunning work. So this was my take on her card. It's pretty much a direct copy. But I loved it. I think I added in like that and used the metallic. I don't know if she did that, but anyway. So this is also using the dies, the coordinating dies with that. So, and this is a real fancy way of using that set. And as you can tell, I really like using that those ferns. So these are 2 little springboard ideas for you guys to get you going using these stamp sets that are very hopeful in a simple way and easily mass producible way. And again, you know, if you have blue cardstock, use blue. Use a light and a dark. Use what you got. You know, purple, whatever. Just use whatever you have. Okay, so we're going to move on to something a little bit different. So if you're just here for the Stampin', you might want to, you know, check out and we'll see you later. But if you're interested in seeing how I kind of organize my supplies and how I go through the catalogs to see what I've already got so I don't double order, which by the way, I double order all the time, which is one of the main reasons why I have so many things to give away to you guys for my Facebook Lives. Yeah, some of it's stuff I earn, like the celebration stuff, but sadly, a lot of it is stuff that I order that's extra, and I don't feel like that's Stampin' Up's fault that I do that, so I never try to return it to them. Anyway, so for example, let's start with the catalog. So pretty soon we're going to enter a new catalog phase. So my customers and people who have recently requested catalogs, you'll be getting a new catalog here not too far from now. And what I do is they're going to announce the retiring list. So Tia, you double order too and your sister gets it. You're so generous. Yeah, double ordering is so easy to do because you love something. You're like, oh, I don't have that. Well, I've got it, but I put it away and I never used it and I forgot I had it. So anyway, so here's what I do. When the retirement list comes out, which will probably be here really soon, probably early April, or even the end of this month. So that should be coming out soon. Other demonstrators, you might remember when that's coming. You can chime in, but I'll take the list and I'll go through the catalog and I will, you know, write something like retired or an R for retired. So far we're kind of walking through this and clearly I don't have anything yet. Oh, here's a mark I made right here. I don't know if you can see it. This is a stamp set that is on my wish list, but I don't own it yet. So it's got 1 slash, but when I actually buy it, it'll have a double slash. So that's one thing I do. My first round is I go through and I dog ear the pages of things that I want. or I will circle the things that I've already got or put a star. Oh, Itty Bitty Greetings. This I actually own and I never finished the job. So this is how I know I own it. So when the next catalog comes out and I'm going through it, I'll know that I've got that. So I'll be able to mark that off as owned. Yeah, so that's just kind of how I go through the catalog to do that. Kathy, you make a check mark in your catalog so you don't double order. Yeah, see, I do that too. But yet somehow I still manage to do it. The Good Morning Magnolia, that's X'd, so I own it. The paper I do in the back with the paper, this, I actually want this, so I'm going to put a mark there. I've seen so many cute things with these, particularly this die and this die right here, and I'm getting pretty jelly, and I feel like I need it. Here's an example of a card that I felt like I really needed, or a set that I needed, and I've never used it, but here it is. But you know what? This is a great one that we can use right now too. We could do some nice techniques with the a silhouette and, you know, miss you, you know, love you. Here's a nice sentiment. When you arise in the morning, think of what a precious privilege it is to be alive, to breathe, to think, to enjoy, to love. Well, the virus cannot take that away from us, right, you guys? We can social distance, but there's certain things. So this, I'm glad we're going through this because I'm going to bring that stamp set out and use it. Maybe we'll use it for Facebook Live next week. I don't think I've ever done a silhouette technique with you guys. Oh, Rustic Retreat. I actually do own this one now. So as you can tell, I'm not very disciplined going through the stuff once I own it. Here's one I owned. There's nothing retired in here yet, so that's why there's nothing that has an R next to it. But when it does, like let's say this birthday background is going to retire. It's not, I don't know. I'm just saying, hypothetically, let's say it retires. I would come through and take a Sharpie and write a big R there. Okay. So that's just basically how I figure out what I want. And then when I order it, I make the X mark. And so that's what I do. So like I own all of these things. You know, I go through, I own almost all actually I own these. And I own these. So I just kind of go through and see what all I've got. And pick out what I want. So anyway, now when I get stamp sets, I'm going to grab them. Give me just a second. I keep stamps in my, I have two little IKEA shelves, and when I get stamp sets that are current, and if they have like a coordinating something to it, whether it be a punch or a die set. So current is this little green dot, and then if it's got a coordinating item, it's the orange dots. So, and then when something retires, I put the pink dot on it. Although this, I think, might still be available on the clearance rack, you guys. But I just haven't marked retired because I'm not going to use it for Facebook Live stuff and, you know, things like that. I don't want to frustrate when it does finally sell out. I don't want to frustrate anyone and by using stuff they can't get. I do this also on punches, Stampin' Up! Retired some circle punches and kept some. So like this 2-inch one is current and this 1 3/4 is retired. So I've just got a pink dot on that so I can easily see what I've got when I need it and just know what to grab. So when things retire, I just kind of put them away. And actually at the end of this month, I think next weekend actually, I'm having a Facebook Live BOGO sale. And basically you can buy one of my retired items and then you get something from the new catalog for free. And I'm having it purposely on the last week of celebration. So if you spend $50, you can also get celebration item as well. So you can get 3 things for free, you know, or, you know, you get $50 for free in new product if you buy $50 worth of retired stuff. And then, you know, then you'll get a free celebration item. Hopefully that makes sense. Let me show you another thing that I do to help keep myself organized. I actually have a couple of binders, and I like to keep, oops, I'm dropping everything here. Oh, can't spill the coffee. Hold on. Coffee is gold. Okay, so here's a way that I saw another demonstrator do this, and she said that she has a subscription. But I just made up this technique based off what she had. So I use my label maker, and this paper is no longer available, so I'll need to move this to a retired section. But I cut 2x2 squares, I think that's 2x2 squares of the paper, and then put the coordinating cardstock with it down here, and then I'll write the name of it and the item number and whatever, so when I have events, people can look through and see what the papers are and easily order it and put it on their little wish lists, and they can just order it easily. This is some of the celebration paper, the Lily Impressions. So depending on the amount of cardstock that is coordinating with it, depends on how big my squares can be. So this is the Please Just Punch. So in this binder, I have the promotional stuff first. So I've got like the celebration, and then now I've got the coordinating released, and then I've got everything else that's current. This is the mini catalog right here. And then I'll have the annual catalog stuff. So this is a paper pack that has so many papers in it, so I just did cut 1 2x2 square and cut it in half diagonally. Oh, and on the back page of this, I put the coordinating punches with it so people could see what punches go with the Please Just Punch paper. So that's just something, but usually it's just blank on the back. So that's how I do paper. And it makes it really easy to see, and people can really get a glimpse of what all the papers are. And then this one, I used the heart punch because so many of the things actually coordinated with the heart punch, so I used that. Let's see, so I don't think there's anything too much more fantastic to show you here. I think you get the idea of what I do here. And by the way, this actually helps me more than any customer I've had, because I like to pull it out and look at it and go, oh, you know, like this one I think will go well with that By the Bay stamp set, or Doc by the Bay, or whatever it is that's in the current spring catalog. And so I was like, oh, I could use that with this because there's a little rowboat in it and stuff. So I'm like, I like that. So I just kind of have little ideas that are going through my head. I don't have the Dinah Roar stamp set, but I have the paper. So this is a stamp set that I might want to pair with like a big sentiment. So if I'm sending it to like my nephew for a birthday, he loves dinosaurs, so the dinosaur paper is still super cute for him. But I do have my 2 nephews and niece, and they're little, and so they would like this stuff. But this paper I just didn't think I would use, or the stamp set I didn't think I would use in general. So I did buy the paper though, mostly because I'm a collection completionist. And then this is the paper that we use today. So this is really pretty paper. When it first came out, I was like, no, not for me, but I actually now love it, which is always the case. I don't know why. Same with this one. When this came out, everyone flipped out, and I was like, ugh. But I love it now, so who knew? And then there's the ones that you fall in love with right away, like this one, and then like I never use anymore. So it's kind of funny how we all have like our just different tastes. So this is it. Oh, and then this is now the annual catalog, I guess. I don't know. Anyway, I'm still in the annual catalog. So here's one I didn't like when it first came out, and this is one of my favorites. Love the colors in that, so I don't know why I didn't like that. So here I've got the Brights, and these are 2-sided. I'm still working on these. This takes a lot of time to put these together, you guys. Hi, Christy. Welcome. We're just going through supplies right now and how we organize. So how do you guys organize your supplies? I use the Stampin' storage system for my inks and refills and pens, or markers, Stampin' Write markers. I have one more binder to show you, and this is how I like to keep track of stamps and sweets when they come out. So I have it organized very similar to the other one, but so what I did was I've got the Happy Birthday to You, and then so it shows the stamps and then the dies that coordinate with it as well. So I've done this for a lot of them. This takes a lot of time, so I don't do it necessarily all the time. I try to. You're trying to figure out how I got my color names under my color circles. You know what? I used my Brother printer label. I did not use like a word template. So I used this guy actually. And I don't purchase the actual Brother labels. I buy the aftermarket, like generic version of it. It's so much cheaper on Amazon. And so I'll use chain print to print this out so it conserves the amount of tape that you use on here. Right here. So I just make all my labels like that, and then I trim them down, and so they're centered underneath them. I just eyeball it, and that's what all these are. It's just Brother label tape. Sometimes when you get things like these dies, I just had to see how they all went together, because I was like, oh gosh, what am I going to do with this? I don't know what to do with it. And so I had to play with it and see. So this gives me the opportunity to play with the bundles that come out. And then I can see easily the sentiments and everything. And I just kind of keep them in, I don't know. I don't know what kind of order these ones are in, actually. Maybe it's not in any real order. Here's the birthday Bonanza buddies. They're so cute. I love that tag. I'm not a big tag maker. I should be a better tag maker. The Dress to Impress bundle. Oh, you're welcome, Kathy. Oh, Christy, I'm glad you like the label maker tip. Yeah, I mean, it's definitely cheaper to try to figure it out in Word and just print out cardstock. I mean, for sure that would be cheaper, but I don't know about you guys. I do not have the patience for that. So more power to the people who do, and that's their thing. But for me, I'm like, I'll spend an extra $5 on label tape. So this is basically all I do. And I try to put the things together as a little sample for myself to kind of show. And then also, again, this is a tool that you can use at workshops or with your customers, and people can see how things go together. Yeah. And here's that positive thoughts that we used today. I also try to use colors with it. So I can just kind of get kind of a, you know, what colors I think go well with it that I might use with it. So, to me, this set just felt like pastel / neutral. So that's why I used those colors. And like this set just said, hey, happy birthday, and use all of the in colors. So the danger of using the in colors is when these retire, I'll have to redo this if this is in the next catalog, but that's okay. Because I made this when I was actually making a card. So I kind of double dutied it. Did all the stamping while I was using it for a card. So that is how I keep my stuff, keep track of my stuff. I have so many more stamps than what are in here, but again, I just don't have quite the time I'd like to have to spend on that. The time I do have, I want to spend creating and making fun things to show you guys. So that is that. And I don't know if I've ever showed how I store my paper pumpkin stamps. Let me show you that. I know I did a paper pumpkin video the other day, but I just don't remember if I showed you guys this. So I use whatever album Stampin' Up! Is selling at the time. I don't think we have these ones anymore. There's different ones. Hi, Kathy. How are you? So I just get these you can buy in the catalog. These are the pocket pages for the albums, and I just store the Stampin' Up! Or the stamps from the paper pumpkins in these things. Some people will buy the you know, the CD cases or the DVD cases and store in there, and I think you can print off. I think Paper Pumpkin gives you a template that you can print off each kit to put on your CD case or your DVD case. So if you want to keep it consistent with that, you know, if I haven't been doing this for years, I'd probably convert to that method because I like that. But this is really space saving. And then, you know, I don't ever use these. I should go through and use them. Like this stamp set right here is like from a year ago. That was amazing. So when we started doing the photorealistic, I forget what it's called. Come on, somebody I think here can remember that. One of you demonstrators. What are those called again? With the photorealistic. It's slipping my mind. It's because the camera's on. Anyway, so that's just how I store. And I have another binder for the more recent ones that I've gotten. So that's how I store my paper pumpkin stuff. And I keep a little thing like this on my desk that's super heavy, but this actually has like all of my dies and embossing folders here. I don't know if you can see here. Distinctive. Thanks, Kathy. The distinctive stamps. So this has all of the, I put the dies up front and I just do it in alpha, and then the embossing folders are in back, and I just keep them in their normal packaging. And then my tools that I use every time. So whenever you see me reaching for something, it's just kept right here in the side of this bin. And then I keep my Big Shot and my paper trimmer actually kind of on the floor next to me on here. I have a big room, but I like everything to be in my reach. So that means it has to go on the floor. All right. So to entice you to watch yesterday's Facebook Live, let me give you a quick recap of the projects we made. Number one, we made this pocket back holder. And I engineered this box all by myself, which it needs a little refinement, I'm not gonna lie, but that's okay. So if you wanna see how I made that, go ahead and check out yesterday's video. Oh, hi, Jamie. Oh, it's so good to see you here. Yeah, I'm doing well and staying safe. I hope you are too. I hope the people in Vegas are not acting crazy with all the casinos closed. That is so awful. Hi, Melinda. How are ya? Okay, and then yesterday we made this little Easter basket, and this is using the 246 box template. I think that's been around forever, but so you don't really need a template per se, but you can go back and watch. It took just a few minutes, and there's a couple different varieties. Like you can actually have this completely closed up, so it doesn't have that, you know, W shape at all. And then this is one where I made it bigger, and I actually copied oh, what's her name? Another demonstrator. I'm sorry, I can't remember her name right now, but she's the one that reminded me of this, and this was a direct take on her project, and then I did this one for us yesterday. So it fits little chocolates in there. And then we did a card yesterday with an action wobble, and I have tons of wobbles, so if you watch the replay, you don't have to share anything. Just type in that you want wobbles and I'll send them to you. I have to find my card that we made yesterday. But these are the action wobbles. Okay, hang on. I think they're right here. Here they are. Isn't it cute? So I did that one, and this is the one we made on camera. And then this is the one I made the week before. Oh, hi, Mike. Hi, Lynn. Everyone, Mike is watching. It's my boyfriend. So I think that's about it today. If you guys have questions or comments, for those of you that are just joining, catch the replay because we made some really beautiful encouragement cards. Let me show you real quick. Simple, limited supplies. So we did this one. Mike, all of these are super cute. So there you go. I'll try to pop on again this week in between now and next Saturday. We'll see what I can do. But yeah, catch the replay and share it. And if you share it, you're going to be entered to win the Positive Thoughts stamp set or a Wink of Stella. I'm not sharing the projects from last week because they're a little bit fragile to ship, but if you want to make the pocket back holder, the thing is on there. I'll show it up here right now. You can make a screenshot of this. I'll put it on my website too, but I don't know if I'm gonna have time to get that on the website today. But anyway, all right, everybody, stay safe and healthy. And for those of you who are medically vulnerable, stay home. Please stay home. If you need anything, you let me know. And for those of us who, well, I'm medically vulnerable, so I don't even know what I'm talking about, but nobody's allowed in my office, pretty much, but me and like 2 other people. Anywho, so you guys just take care of yourselves, and let's get through this, and let's encourage people. Love you guys. See you next week. Bye.